Hey, Charger History. Today's essential question is, what was it like to live in the Qin dynasty? Please copy this essential question at the top of your notebook page. Draw your vertical line for your notes. You will need your notebook as well as the passage in your practice packet today. Please turn in your packet to the Wednesday page. So yesterday we learned about some famous philosophies of the Zhou dynasty. Based on the mandate of heaven, do you remember what people believed about their emperors? Do you remember what philosophy matches up with this yin-yang symbol? Around the end of the Zhou dynasty, a time of chaos and violence began. This time period was called the period of warring states, as in states at war with each other. It lasted for 500 years. During this time, farmers rebelled against nobles, and nobles rebelled against the king. China was weak. Mongols from the north attacked and tried to conquer land. Please pause and copy this central idea, the Warring States period. During the Warring States period, there was no strong emperor. Nobody was really in control. Then came Emperor Qin. He liked to think that he saved China, and many historians agree that that might be true. Emperor Qin was only in power for 11 years, but he's one of the most famous rulers in China's history. So let's go to your passage. As we read, please annotate. Remember to circle keywords, underline key points, and write central idea statements for each paragraph. Here's Emperor Qin. Qin was the first man to control all of China. During his short rule, he called himself Shi Huangdi. You like my pronunciation there? Which meant first emperor of China. And the name China came from his name, Qin. Please pause and copy this idea. Emperor Qin was the first king to unite all of China. That's why he called himself Shi Huangdi, the first emperor. Emperor Qin ran his dynasty with absolute control. Punishment for those who disagreed with him was swift and harsh. You could be put to death simply by just suggesting another way to do things. There was only Qin's way. However, the Qin emperor set out to build up China into the most glorious nation on earth. Qin controlled the money, jobs, and power out of the people very carefully. Here's how he did it. Qin had great power. His system of organization was called legalism, and it gave him complete control. He used that control to make the huge changes that he felt that China desperately needed to protect herself. His system of rule was called legalism. Legalism taught that people obeyed their rulers out of fear, not respect. Under a system of legalism, people who obey are rewarded. People who do not obey are punished harshly. Legalists believe that people are basically bad, so they need a lot of control in order to live in peace. Please pause and write a central idea statement for that paragraph about legalism. And then please put this definition in your notes. All right, if you hear this, you should be done with annotating your passage for the paragraph of legalism and with this writing this in your notebook. Let's move on to the next paragraph. Oh yeah, this guy, legalism. Remember, harsh laws with harsh punishments if you break them. All right, next paragraph. Qin developed a system of bureaucracy so that he could control every minute of people's lives. He divided his empire into 36 provinces. Each had 2 government officials in charge of it. There had to be 2 so they could keep an eye on each other. Then he broke the provinces into smaller districts. Each district had 2 people in charge of it, so they could keep an eye on each other, and so it went. People at all levels were paid very well to stay honest to the person above them. Please pause and copy this vocab word, bureaucracy. A bureaucracy has many levels of workers who follow strict rules. They must report to their bosses all the way up to the emperor. All right. Let's move on to the next paragraph, the Great Wall. Qin set people to work building the Great Wall of China. He believed the country needed better protection from their enemies to the north, the desert nomads, the Mongols. Just as cities had walls built around them, he wanted a wall built around China. In order to do this, he needed labor. Qin used the peasants, forcing them to work under slave conditions. But he also built public works projects. Qin put some people to work building good things for China, like bridges, roads, canals, and systems of flood control. The people he assigned to do this work either did the work they were assigned to do quickly and well, or they were killed and sent to work on the Great Wall. Please pause and make central idea statements for those paragraphs. All right. So in addition to that, Qin created a law code. His law code applied to everyone in his empire. He created a huge law enforcement group to enforce those laws. He also created a system of standardization. Qin introduced one system of weights and measures, one system of money, the same written language, the same laws, all systems of standardization to be used all over China. No one argued with him. The standardization helped him rule all of China the same way. Please pause and make your central idea statement for those two paragraphs. And make sure that you circled keywords like standardization. Now, please pause and read the next paragraph independently. When you're done reading that paragraph, press play. This is the paragraph that starts with, "He greatly weakened the teachers and scholars." Go ahead and pause and read, annotate, and then press play when you're done. All right, if you're hearing this, you should be done with that paragraph and it should be annotated. Now go ahead and copy that central idea, censorship. This goes in your notebook. Censorship means controlling information by banning certain books and ideas. That meant that you weren't allowed to talk about things unless the emperor said that you could. Why do you think that Emperor Qin used censorship? All right, so the last two things about Emperor Qin. He really gave most peasants one of either two jobs. Either a peasant was assigned to grow food or harvest silk. We'll learn more about silk very soon. It was super valuable. But if the peasants tried to do anything else besides their assigned job, they were put to death or sent to work on the Great Wall. If people were slow or lazy, then they were put to death or sent to work on the wall. But despite all of his controls, Qin really didn't believe that he was cruel. His systems of protection, standardization, and job assignment probably saved millions of lives from flood and famine and war. Qin thought of himself as an outstanding leader. He used to say, "1,000 may die so that millions may live." Whew, so man, what a strong leader, but a little bit crazy. Please go back to your playlist and get ready to show what you know about the Qin dynasty.